Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about color and uh, today we're going to talk a little bit about color and color theory, um, how we see color, how we blend color, how we mix color, and we're going to talk about color specifically as it would apply to pigment, and by that I mean regular paints and how you mix paints and uh, how paint and pigments in paint react to color. Now, the reason I specifically say that is because that's a little different than how uh, color in electronics work, really, and in printing and so forth. So, we're looking specifically again, sort of how. The eye generally sees color and how color is created by that spectrum that we look at, that we can see, and particularly how it's utilized in the pigments that we artists use in their paints. Okay, so the way we're going to start today is we're going to start by identifying our three primary colors, and I'm going to start off with yellow. I'm going to be my yellow here on this, and now I'm using sketch pad. I mean a sketchbook, which is a program that you can use generally if you have a PC, but you can be doing this on Chrome Canvas. You can open this very same uh, color wheel that I'm using. This is a 6 color wheel, and we're going to talk more about that here in just a moment. So I've got my area of yellow, and I'm not trying to worry too much about stand lines because we're going to talk shortly about those colors that blend and mix together. So my yellow is in place. I'm going to look at my next primary color, which is blue. I'm going to put my blue down here at the bottom. And I'd like for you to make sure you are putting yours in the same space as I'm putting mine. And I've got my tool set here, my little brush tool set at to be transparent. So each time I put a little layer over it, it gets a little darker. And just like I've done, if you have Chrome Canvas, you can do that. If you're using watercolors, crayons, markers, color pencils, you can do the very same thing. But you're going to put yellow in the top left, kind of the bottom center. We're going to do blue, and that brings us to our third primary color, which is red. We're going to put red here in this sort of upper right hand corner, if you will. Now, it's important that you position these the way I have and put them where I have, because we're going to talk very shortly about warm colors and cool colors. And if you don't have them positioned like this, your warm colors won't be as easy to identify when we talk about them here in a moment. Now, this is a color wheel that you should keep handy. It'll help you understand color mixing as we go forth and go forward and look at painting and adding color into our drawings. All right, now between our yellow and our red is where we have our first secondary color. Now, those primary colors are the three colors that you need to mix all of the other colors. That's why we call them the primary colors. Without those three colors, we can't mix the others. The other unique thing about primary colors is they can't be mixed from from anything else. You can't mix yellow from another color. You have to start off with yellow. You can't mix red from a couple other colors. You got to start off with red. And same with blue. So now we're going to look at how we overlap those colors to create this. And that's why I've got my transparency turned on. I'm going to put a thin layer of red here in between my yellow and my red. Now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to select my yellow. I'm going to go over yellow. If you're using crayons or watercolors, you're just going to try to go over a couple times and you're going to start to see that slowly that's going to turn into a nice orange color. I'm going to go back over it again with my red because I want a nice pretty orange. And one more time with the yellow here. And I think we'll have an orange I really like. I hope you like the orange you're getting. Actually, I kind of like it a little more towards the red. I think I've got a tertiary color here. This is not really orange. That's yellow orange. Wait a minute. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So I'm going to try my red one more time. Only I probably don't want to go quite as red as I did before, or quite as dark. So I'm going to do that thing where I turn that opacity down just a little bit. And I'm going to go over and do a thin layer of red until I get an orange that I really like. Oh, I love that orange. That is, in my estimation, a pretty true orange. Next, we're going to go put our red here between the blue and the red. And this is where we're going to put our purple. So I've got a little red down. I'm going to go back and select my blue. I'm going to lay a little blue down. Already you can start to see that purple pop in there. Come back again with my red. All right. And one more time with my blue. Oh yeah, that's a great purple. I really like that purple. All right. And last but not least, we're going to put our green in here. So I'm going to use my blue while I've got it. And I'm going to fill in the blue a little bit here. And then with my yellow. And slowly it's becoming green, but that yellow I'm gonna have to add probably a little extra of to kind of get a green. And I don't love this green. It's okay. I'm gonna go a little more yellow here. I'm gonna try blue over it one more time and see if I can get a blue I like. But I think what I'm gonna do is just choose a green. Nope, I don't like that. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose a green that I like. And I like, yeah, that's a nice green. So I'm going to go over that with that green until I get a green that I really like. Now, boy, I like that green. Look at that. That's what green should look like. Okay, so if your colors don't mix the way you like and doesn't make a nice green that you're really happy with, you blend until you get what you really like. So now I have a basic 6-color wheel. And now we're ready to start talking about those warm colors and cool colors and the notion of what we call complementary colors. So on your wheel, I would like for you to sort of identify and make these same sort of marks, so or changes, if you will. So I'm going to select my pen tool, and I'm going to come over here and make it black. Okay, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit because I want to be able to see what I'm doing here. All right, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line that goes across the middle and all the way up to the top and down back over. And I'm going to put a line because these are the warm colors. WARM, warm colors. And these colors are the cool colors. So our warm colors are yellow, orange, and red. Colors that might look like fire. Or a part of fire. The cool colors are going to be our green, our blue, and our purple. So we know our primaries are red, yellow, and blue, and our secondary colors are purple, green, and orange. So we're going to put that here. Primary, are red, yellow, and blue. Over here, we'll put our secondary colors. And those are orange, green, and purple. All right. Now we have our warm colors, our yellow, orange, and red. We've identified those. We've got our cool colors, our green, blue, and purple, and we've identified those. And now we want to talk about complementary colors. So complementary colors are two colors that are going to be opposite each other on the color wheel. That blue is opposite that orange. The yellow is opposite that purple. And that green is opposite that red. Those are complementary colors. So we're going to put complementary up here. And we're going to identify those as across from each other. So two colors that are across from each other on the color wheel are going to be, that's an O, are going to be complementary. So there's one last thing I'd like to talk about, and that is analogous colors. And that's not one that we talked about too much. I don't know that we mentioned it at all. Analogous, and that is ANALOGOUS. My U looks terrible, doesn't it? That's a U. All right. Analogous colors. And analogous colors are what we'll call three colors next to each other. And uh, unlike complementary colors, which contrast with each other and are very different than each other, analogous colors are three colors that sort of really work very well together because they share some type of family relationship, if you will, or some type of relationship that makes them sort of um, related to one another. So let's look at what I'm talking about here. If we look at, let's say, green, yellow, and orange. If we look at these three colors, green, yellow, and orange, well, they all have a common relative. They have something in common, if you will, and that is yellow. Yellow's in yellow, yellow's in green, and yellow is in orange. That makes those three colors analogous. If we look at yellow, green, and blue, hey, look, those three are analogous because they share a common relative. If we think of yellow and blue together make green, the common relative is green. Yet there's yellow and green, and there's blue and green. So those three are related to each other. Those will be analogous colors. If we look at green, blue, and purple, again, they have three colors that share a common relative. That is blue. Blue is in green, blue is in blue, of course, and blue is in purple. So understanding the warm colors, cool colors, complementary and analogous colors, we understand primary colors, secondary colors, and that's a pretty good start for understanding how we can mix and blend color. Now, the last thing that I want you all to do is take a picture of this, save it, or if you are, of course, going to turn it in for your make day, but I want you to save it somewhere where you can use this on each of the assignments as we go forward. A color wheel is a very useful tool, and it's also going to come in handy when we do our assessments. All right, guys, have a great day.